Welcome back, folks. You are watching RPG Limit Break 2024, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, benefiting NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We are now ready for our next run, which is going to be the fantastic Gyoo running Baldur's Gate 3. Gyoo, please take it away.
Sure. Hello, everyone. So, my name is Gyoo, and I'll be running Baldur's Gate 3 All Acts for this marathon. So, before we start the run, we'll first introduce my commentator. So, Bisc, welcome, and thanks for helping me commentate.
Yeah, I'm Bisc, just another runner for Baldur's Gate.
Okay, so before I actually start the run, I will go through the character creation because there's a few interesting things to note here. I'm running on patch 5, which is quite a node patch, because on the later patches some things have been fixed, so it makes the run a bit less interesting. And so I'm going to play as a halfling. Oh yeah, another thing that I wanted to check is the difficulty. I'm starting in balanced mode. As you can see, the game is in French because, well, if you didn't notice yet, I am French, and I didn't want to risk downloading another language, which would maybe download a later patch, so I didn't want to risk that, so the game is going to be in French. We're going to start the run in balanced mode, and it's going to change over the run. Okay, so now for the character creation. So we're going to play as a halfling, Lightfoot halfling. It's going to be a wizard, important for later stuff. For the minor spells, I'm just going to take minor illusion. The other ones I don't care. And for the spells, I'm going to get triple jump, feather fall, disguise, chrome orb, fog, and magic missile. So that's all the spells that I need, and I will need some others over time. For the past, I'm going to take criminal, but it doesn't really matter too much. And for the specs, because I have a wizard, obviously I will put everything in strength and dexterity, and just a few points in intelligence, because, well, it's what matters the most for a wizard, obviously. I'm going to start with 3 spells that I can cast whenever I want. So I'm going to start with triple jump, disguise, and magic missile. These are the ones that I'm going to start with. And just before we start, Tim, if you can tell me what is the name of the character that I'm going to play with?
Indeed, we have received $125 for the top choice, Bubblegum Jones.
Okay, so this is going to be the skin of Bubblegum Jones. As you can see, very, very fitting.
Nice.
And so, Bubblegum Jones. Okay, here we go. So, we can also customize the Guardian. We actually don't care because we're not going to see him during the run. So, whenever you're ready, I can do a countdown and we can start. I will take that as a yes. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. So we skip the first couple intro cutscenes because we don't want to watch them. They take too long, and the game's going to put us into the prologue / tutorial area. But we also don't want to do that. Conveniently, the end of the prologue is really close to us, behind a wall. And normally you can't jump through walls, but if you just keep jumping really, really fast, the game kind of gets confused and lets you jump anyway. So yeah, Gyoo is going to jump through the wall, and just like that,
okay,
we are.
It's fine. I can back this up.
Yeah. Basically, at the end of the prologue here.
Okay, that didn't work. Interesting. No, not the shameful backup, not yet. Okay, I'm going to restart whatever. You can keep the timer running, it's okay. Except I'm not going to have... Oh yeah, I didn't have the save, interestingly enough. So Yeah, I actually have to restart the character creation, whatever. Okay, so I'm not going to have the skin this time. It's fine. I'm just going to do this real quickly. Okay. So yeah, this is something. This is something that can happen because, well, sometimes the game just doesn't want to help you. So, okay, I'm just going to go with that. Bubblegum Jones. It's actually interesting. I thought I had auto saves, but I'm going to. Okay, auto saves. So this time, no problem. Okay, so you can restart your explanation if you want. Sorry for the false start.
Yeah. Well, Gyoo did successfully jump through the wall, but unfortunately into basically a chasm, which makes it hard to get out of. Which it's a very common place to reset in runs, unfortunately. It's not the most consistent trick. But yeah, we also dash a couple times beforehand. Yep, there we go. Dash a couple times beforehand, which gives us some extra movement speed. And normally you'd have to fight your way through this room.
What is going on? Okay.
You normally have to fight your way through this room. But we just ignore all the enemies and jump straight to the end instead.
Yeah, I'm actually confused because I don't have my usual lengths, walking lengths. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm just going to do this in 2 turns. It should be fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Saved.
And just like that, we are done the prologue.
Okay, so it was a pretty clumsy start, not gonna lie. Obviously, when I did some training, everything went perfectly, and today is not the day. But yeah, hopefully the game is more easy on us.
Yeah. All right, so now we're loading into Act 1, and we're going to immediately start setting up for a trick called shadowboxing, which is actually a combination of 2 different glitches. The first is that if you try and fail to move an object, as Gyoo is about to do right now, the game will save that position in memory. And then later, if you try to move a wooden crate specifically during its opening or closing animation, it will instead move the crate to that saved position, even though it's, in this case, all the way across the map. The other glitch is less of a glitch, more of a failsafe, but a few cutscenes in the game can be triggered by a dead companion, and it will then revive that companion. Hence why we are killing Shadowheart right now.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Shadowheart, I'm really sorry for what is going to happen during this run.
Yeah, we kill Shadowheart a few times in this run. But if you combine those 2 glitches together, we basically put Shadowheart into a wooden crate, and set the crate on fire, try to move the crate, fling it across the map, where it will then deposit Shadowheart. Hopefully, the crate breaks at the destination.
Yeah, so the game really doesn't like us today.
Yeah, bad RNG, unfortunately.
Okay, second time's a charm.
Yep, so we fling the box all the way across the map, where it deposits Shadowheart's corpse and revives her in the cutscene. And that means we can just, after this night's over, switch to Shadowheart and be basically mostly at the end of Act 1.
All right.
Yeah.
So during this kind of small portion, I'm supposed to talk to these 2 guys, but I don't want to. So this time it's Tav that is going to die. Nice first try, nice one shot. And just before getting him, I will go into turn-based mode. So because the game, as Biff said, the game has a lot of fail safes, and if you grab a character during this time, it will just move on and skip the night. Okay, and because I got the Tav while being in turn-based mode, now if I apply any kind of buff to Tav, he will get them infinitely. So that's what we call infinite mode. And as you can see, the two buffs that I have here, so triple jump and pedal, they will just not go away. Instead, you can see on Shadowheart that it fades away turn by turn. Here, I'm going to recruit Lazel because I will need her for later. And now we pray for RNG. So if you can explain why I'm doing this.
Yeah, so we really need an invisibility potion for the next part of the run. And this is really the only convenient place to get one, but the chances of getting one are actually quite low. Thankfully, when you level up your character, it will reset merchants' inventories, which means you get a few chances at getting the invisibility potion. But it's still not super likely.
Okay, I still need this. So yeah, I have basically 4 chances of getting the potion, and if I don't, then I have a backup save for this. But it would be nice if I had it. Okay, not this time. Okay, we have it. Nice. Yeah, I don't have the box anymore, so I will have to make a small detour to get one. But at least we do have what matters, which is the camera, please. Hello. Okay. Okay, so we do have what matters, which is the potion. So I'm just going to get another box from here as a backup because I need another box for later use. All right. And now I'm going to move on to the next skip, which is a skip where we use the fog. Basically, there's a fight here that we don't want to make. And just in case I'm doing a save. Okay, so you didn't see the fog because there's a graphical bug, but there was actually some fog here. I was hidden in the fog, and this way I can move on to Act 2 already. So maybe you have time for one donation, 1 or 2 donations, if you have any. Well, anyway, the loading is almost done, so we can move on to the next thing. While I'm doing the next shadowboxing, maybe you can, I don't know, explain what I'll be doing. What I will skip, basically.
Yeah. So we used to jump all the way to the end of Act 2, but now we do another shadow box here. Instead of triggering a cutscene, though, with Shadowheart, we send her into the trigger that sends us to prison. And so we have Tav grouped with Shadowheart so that they both get sent to prison, and Shadowheart remains dead. But yeah, and that we don't stay in prison for very long. We escape pretty quickly to get to the end of Act 2.
Okay.
Yeah, so just like before.
The setup here is a bit precise. That should be good.
Yeah, so he tries and fails to move an object, and the game saves that position and then sends the box to that position instead.
That didn't work. So good thing I saved. I'm going to remove this one. Okay, so let's do that again.
Yeah, unfortunately, every time you shadow box, there's about a 50% chance that the box either doesn't break, doesn't take enough damage to break, or that it breaks when you initially put it down. Both of which have to either reload a save
What's going
or
on?
get another box.
Yeah, okay, my setup is not right, it seems. Which is interesting because, once again, this is something that I've trained a lot and I didn't have any issue. So obviously, all the issues, I get them here. Okay. That should be good. Hopefully. Okay. Finally.
Yeah.
This is the place
Okay, so now we're in Juliet.
to discover the secret of the absolute.
So from now on, things should go hopefully more smoothly. Unless, oh yeah, it's normal. Okay. So things should go a bit more smoothly from now on, hopefully, because the shadowboxing is like one of the hardest tricks in the run. So now that it's behind us, it should be better. So here I'm trying to do something called brain cat jumping, and I didn't get it. Okay. My character is well placed. So I'm trying to force my way onto the brain cat. And for some reason it doesn't want to. Again, I'm really confused. I'm getting a lot of behaviors that I usually don't face. Okay, finally.
The stench.
So yeah, brain cat jumping, as you can see, I basically teleported through a bunch of stuff. Because there was, I was trying to force a jump where someone was already, like an NPC, and because of that, well, the game just teleports you to the destination.
Mind flayers and civilians.
Here, I'm going to purge this to get some XP because we need some level ups later on. And now it's just going on our way to Keterix, so. I'm going to basically go down this elevator and do some level ups, so if you want to have some time for a few donations.
Okay, no problem at all. We have received a donation or two. We'll get them to you. There we go. Right, we have received $13 from Spock Rocket, who says, let's see this bonus any percent run. Then you've also received a $30 donation. You've also received a $30 donation from Kefka, who says, who would win in a fight, a bugbear or an ogre? Wait, please don't answer that. Thank you very much indeed for those amazing donations. Back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so while the donations were being read, I leveled up, and during the level up, the main thing to note is that I double-classed Shadowheart as a druid, and because of that, she will be able to transform as a bear, and it's going to be interesting, well, important for the upcoming fight. Bisc, if you want to take the lead.
Yeah, so currently we're transforming Shadowheart into a bear. And we're going to give her a few abilities. We're going to make her bigger. We're going to make her be able to jump far, make her not take fall damage, and we're going to make her invisible. And at least in this patch of the game, if you're invisible, even if you're dealing damage to enemies, they won't notice you and you won't enter combat. So we...
I'm starting the fight by basically summoning a phantom cat. Okay, good initiative, but I hate when he does that. Okay, good thing I saved. Okay, so just a disclaimer, this is basically the worst luck I've had for quite a while. It's not a matter of stress or anything, it's just like the game is just like not being helpful. Okay, so I summoned the cat, and now I teleport to Night Song to free her. Hopefully... Ah, come on. Okay, so let's do it another time. So yeah, summoning a cat will trigger the fight against Cathrek, and he's going to go down because we want him to go down in this place. And then I just need to pray for good initiative to be able to deliver Night Song without, while keep having my concentration. Okay, so now I think I can do everything that I want. So freeing, okay, I'm already an explorer. And now that Night Song is freed, what do you think happens when you jump with a 5-ton bear on a boss? Hopefully that works. Okay, that's a one-shot. And now for the second part, it's going to be pretty much the same, but this time we're going to force the jump. And hopefully 1, 2, and that's a one-shot as well. Okay, so the fight finally went well. Too bad it took 3 times. Alright, so now we basically just need to leave the second act. So I'm going to send Shadowheart, like, she's going on a trip, and at some point she's going to meet the shadows in which she's going to take damage, but she can tank it because she's a bear. Meanwhile, we're going to talk to these people, and I don't want them into the camp because it's going to be annoying otherwise. And I'm going to talk to this little fella, who is going to give us a bit of money, which is going to be useful later on. Okay, so I just need to trigger one cutscene, and then we can move on to the end of the act. Alright. So just a bit of movement with Shadowheart, still as an invisible bear. Okay. So let's make her jump here. Let's do a few steps, and now I'm going to tank all the rest. So I'm basically taking damage over time, but not much because I was actually not far from the edge of the shadows. And now we're going to long rest, we're going back to the camp and do a few level ups. If you can explain what I'm going to level up right there.
Yeah, so we've recruited Jaheira into our party, and she starts out as, I believe, level 6, which is a higher level than any of our other characters, because we're supposed to be at this part of the game much later than we are right now. So we first switch her to be a wizard, and then we have to leave as a conjuration wizard for an ability that we'll use later on in the run. And of course, we need enhanced leap and featherfall, just for moving around, and invisibility, to avoid being detected in certain spots.
Yeah, that's basically all we need as spells, and then, well, I spec'd her pretty much like I did with Tav, so with max strength and dexterity. And I'm going to, thanks to the gifts, I'm going to go up to 20 strengths, and with the athlete trait, it's going to, well, she's going to be able to jump really, really far. I'm also taking invisibility for Tav because it's going to be useful. And yeah, I need, this is alert feat for Tav. Shadowheart, nothing to do with her. And then Lazel also needs her alert feat. Alert Fit is something pretty nice, which basically almost guarantees you to start the fights. And we're going to need it for the intermission that is coming up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we weren't high enough level to get alert for the last fight with Ketherick. That would have saved us one reset.
Yeah.
I can feel the shadows.
Okay, so that's the end of Act 2.
Let me know when you've got a second.
Yeah, sure.
I just want to let you know that we have received a $108 donation from Oblivion Ninja 42, and that goes towards our incentive. And we are so close. We are $52 away from the bonus Any % run for Baldur's Gate 3. So come on,
Nice.
folks, get those donations in, and let's see that bonus run. Thank you.
Perhaps get back to
Your
control it.
Okay, so during the intermission, we're supposed to go to something called the Astral Plane and fight a few Githyankies, but we're actually not going to do this. Actually, Tav is going to jump over there if I can find a spot. Okay, because we need him this way. And then with Jaira, I'm going to take a small trip over there just to get some stuff, and then we're going to move on to what we call the git skip. All right, so I'm getting these few crates. It's for later use, and now save and take it away for git skip.
Yeah, so
Pause.
yeah, so we get ambushed by the Gith in this fight. Unfortunately, they do have very good initiative, so they can go first sometimes. But
Okay, it should be fine. So I'm going to cast Mage Hand and triple jump on myself. So okay, I'll take a hit, but it's fine. Okay, so now I can do it again. Okay, and now I'm going to, basically we're supposed to trigger a cutscene, but if I do some specific inputs, I'm not going to trigger the cutscene, and it will allow me to do some other stuff later on.
yeah,
So
the
I'm switching
combination of
between
having
two characters, and yeah, it worked.
yeah, the
Nice.
combination of having a dead companion and Mage Hand lets you get control of the Mage Hand during the cutscene. And then if we kill Shadowheart for, I think, the third time now,
I stopped counting. Yeah.
that'll take all of the companions out of the cutscene, and we can just leave the astral plane. The Gith will stay here, the Gith that want to fight us, and they'll be a bit annoying later in the run.
Yeah, but it's for later. Let's focus on now. Okay, and that's the end of the intermission. Let's go to Act 3. Why always Shadowheart? Because it's convenient.
Do what must be done.
Okay, so this is the place where I'm going to do things a little bit differently from the fastest route, but I chose to do this for diversity in the run. So yeah, it's more of a treat for you guys. It's also a pretty satisfying way to get the next Netherstone that we need. So yeah, basically for those who didn't play the game, it's not real spoiler. You need to get like 3 Netherstones from the main foes, and we already got one from Ketherick. We need the 2 other ones, and we're going to get them in some pretty funny ways. So the first one, I need to go get Gortash, and I'm going to deal with him in a pretty surprising way. So to get to Gortash, I actually jump on the rooftops. Very, very common way to get to the castle, obviously. I'm just opening a few doors because I need to. Okay, so now I'm going to use something called Improvised Weapon. And Improvised Weapon allows me to basically move someone around like nothing happens. And if I cancel before the end of the action, okay, so for some reason that didn't work, but I guess that's just... I'm just not surprised at this point. Because everything is supposed to go wrong during this run. So that's why I did a save, because I know this is something that can happen sometimes. Okay, second time's the charm. So, okay, so I did Improvised Weapon on him, and this time if it works, and if I... No! What is going on? I'm like really confused. It's not supposed to do this. So what I'm trying to explain is that if I cancel Improvised Weapon before the end of the action, it's not actually an aggression, and I can just move NPCs around like nothing.
A swift mercy.
Okay, finally. Alright, so now for my next trick, I'm going to do some kidnapping. So this is actually a glitch this time. Because yeah, what I did before was not glitches so far. Yeah, there were a few glitches, but this one is actually a glitch. So I'm doing what we call kidnapping, which allows me to move around with another character onto me. Okay, so this box is going to be annoying. I think I can make it work. Yes. Okay, so now I can move to the bridge. And I do have Goltash with me. We're on a bridge, so you can guess what is going to happen. 1, 2, and yeet! And that's how we get the second Nether Stone. Alright, moving on to Orange. So, if you thought you saw everything so far, well, you will not expect what is going to happen right there. Bisc, I think I'm going to focus a bit for the spot, so take it away.
Yeah, so he was about to do a trick that we call road porting, using one of the abilities we took when we were leveling up Jaheira earlier, that lets her teleport and switch places with one of her allies. So naturally, of course, we're going to kill one of our companions immediately.
Yeah, not the one you expect this time. Okay, so just a few inventory minutes. Okay, so this time Tav is going to take it for the team.
Yeah, and yeah, so the ability, which lets you teleport to a companion, works whether or not the companion's still alive, and also whether or not the companion is in someone's inventory. So we're going down to the sewers right now, and we will trigger an interaction with Orin while she's disguised, and yeah, when he does that, he will also basically cancel the interaction in the middle of it, so that Orin's just standing there, transformed, and yeah, so now Orin's just there, disguised. So we reverse.
So yeah, I'm putting Tav into the inventory, then casting Mage Hand. Mage Hand, thank you.
Yeah, so we trigger Orin to teleport away with Mage Hand, and at the same time, it's a very precise timing, we teleport with our companion who is in Orin's inventory.
Nice. And now we are into a dev room. And conveniently, there is the nether stone that we need right there, like just at our feet.
The nether stone, that's wrong.
And to make as to how the
So I hope you enjoyed that dev room because we're going to teleport back to the entrance. And now I need to do it a second time. So I will go back to where I was before. I need to do it a second time, and this will teleport me in another place, which is the Temple of Baal, because it's actually pretty close to our next objective. So just need to get back Tav. So this time I can put Tav once again into Orin's inventory, and now this time I will need to focus a bit. I have an audio cue for the next dialogue to trigger the next. Oh, I forgot to do something. All right, this way I can actually do another teleportation. Okay.
Thickens your marrow. Find my temple. There it will be set free.
Okay, this worked. So now we're teleported to the Temple of Baal. And this is where you're supposed to fight Orin, but because we already have the Nether Stone, we actually don't need to do this. So I can just go away.
And unfortunately, since we weren't supposed to get here yet, the door's locked. So thankfully they left a tiny little gap in the door, and we can just misty step right through it, and we're out.
Let me know when you've got a second.
Yeah, sure. It's just walking to the next objective, so you have some time.
Well, I just want to let you know we're running out of time for this incentive. We need to get $52, sorry, I can't count. $52 to get this bonus any percent run. We've only got to the end of this run, which will be coming up fairly shortly. So please, please, please get your donations in if you want to see that bonus any percent run. Thank you very much.
I think you have a bit less than 10 minutes.
Yeah, we'll get those donations in. Thank you.
All right, so this is the end of Act 3, and now we're moving on to the endgame. The endgame is going to be in two parts. So first we're going to go to the Morphic pools, where there will also be a bunch of skips. Basically, in the it's going to be some fail safes, especially at the end of this area. There's like some very long cutscenes with some stuff that happens that you're not really supposed to be able to win, with some impossible dice rolls. But if you have some characters that are dead in your group, then the cutscenes will just not play and move on to the next area. So this is what I'm going to do. Here, by going this way, I'm avoiding some fights. And now it's just jumping to the end of the area. Unfortunately, the annoying thing is that you can sometimes lose some time if you get stunned, because it very easily happens. But yeah, it went fine. So. Moving on. Okay, so now I need to turn base mode. This way I have infinite status on Tav, and I can resurrect him. Oh, come on. Where is the spot? Okay, this will do. And I'm leveling up because it is necessary for the end of the run. Do I have everything I need? No, I need invincibility, and now I have everything. So we're back to the astral plane. And remember what Bisc said, there are some giths that are still around. So that's why I need invincibility at this point. Because since they're still there, I don't want to trigger the fight. I just need to talk to the Emperor, but I don't want to trigger the fight. So that's why I need invincibility here.
You will give this.
And little spoiler right there, if you didn't play the game up to this point, I'm going to transform myself into an Erithid, because it's going to be useful for the end of the run. If you can explain why it's going to be useful,
It's time to leave.
while I'm doing the rest of the way.
Yeah, so the final boss of this game has a few hundred health or so. And
212, something like this.
Yeah, and if you transform into a Mind Flayer, you get a certain ability that makes it really helpful to end up beating the final boss. Specifically, it lets you, all of your attacks do an extra 15 damage, and it makes you vulnerable to all damage. Of course, we're not getting hit by anything, so the downside doesn't matter at all. But since we also have the infinite status effect, we can stack that ability on itself multiple times. So each of our attacks do 45 to 60 extra damage, depending on how many stacks of it we put on. Yeah, so the goal right now is just to go all the way to the final fight without being seen, and then hopefully one-shot the final boss.
Yeah, so I just casually jump from here to the end area before while avoiding all the fights on the way, because I can. And now I'm going to set up for the final fight. Okay, so like you said, this is the I don't remember the name in English. I think it's high stakes or something like this.
Yeah, fierce perilous stakes.
Yeah. So I can stack it 3 times, and now I just need to put invincibility on both myself and the Emperor. And now just saving just in case, because a lot of things happen during this run already.
There it is. The very...
Yes, as we enter this final
so-
fight, everyone's invisible, so combat doesn't get triggered, and we can just go straight to the end.
Yeah, just chilling next to the dragon right there. So yeah, we already spilled the beans, but as you will be able to see, the boss has 210 HP, and I'm going to do 5 attacks that both do at least 45 damage, so that's more than the end, and the timer is coming up real soon. So yeah, that was also one shot of the final boss, casually. And we're at like level 7 or something. And it's time.
GG.
Thank you. It was much more difficult than I expected. All my trainings went much better than this, but the game just really didn't want to help this time, so I'm glad it's done.
Well, can I give you some good news?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks to a $52 donation from the wonderful Le Grand Grand, we have met the incentive. And Le Grand Grand says, "Hey there, glad to be able to donate during the run of a fellow French. Good luck with the end of the run, Gyoo. Let's see that any % run."
Thank you very much. And yeah, that's awesome. So we can have some more Baldur's Gate and more RNG. Okay, so I can actually move on very quickly to the next run. So it's going to take like a few seconds only.
Well, while you're setting that up, we've actually received a second $52 anonymous donation that says, "My unpopular gaming opinion is that I really didn't enjoy Baldur's Gate 3. Here's $52 to see as little of it as possible." Thank you very much indeed for your generous donation towards Nami. I'm sure that we're about to see it as short as possible.
Yeah, it's going to take, like, if everything goes well, which is not the motto today, but if everything goes well, it's going to take like 5 minutes. Okay, so this time I'm going to play Gale, because Gale has lore. And we're going to use that lore to finish the game really, really quickly. So for the setup, it's going to be pretty much the same. So I'm going to take the same spells. I'm not going to use everything. Same for the specs, pretty much the same. And I'm going to prepare Enhanced Sleep, Magic Missile, and Chrome Orb. As far as I remember, that's what I need right now. Anyway, if it's not the case, I can change.
I believe you need to get extra intelligence so you can take Fog Cloud as well.
No, I will just swap the
Oh, right.
the spells. That's what I used to do. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and go. Alright, so the natural rate is going to be pretty much the same. Hopefully this time is going to be better than the first one. Alright. So one thing that I didn't mention during the first run is that every time I cast a spell, you can see me moving the spells around. It's something called animation skip, and it allows me to basically be able to cast another spell faster after casting the first one. Okay, looks like we're good. And yeah, I do have all my trouble, so this time it's a first try. So as you can see, much faster than the previous run, because, well, that's what happens when everything goes fine.
The helm's aiming.
Alright, so for the first shadow boxing, it's going to be pretty much the same. So in case you want to remind us, Tim, why we are here, I think this is the right time. This is something that you've already seen a few times today.
Oh, yes. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, remember, folks, that you are watching RPG Limit Break 2024. We are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Remember, all your donations go towards NAMI. Absolutely fantastic cause. Remember also that when you donate, not only are you helping a fantastic cause, but you could potentially get yourself in for some of our wonderful prizes, like the fantastic Whale Lord and the fantastic Buster Sword that we saw earlier on. And, very quickly, we have received another donation. We've received $170 towards NAMI from Gren, who says, donating from the Xenoblade normal mode incentive. Let's go, Aeon. And that has met the incentive for the next run coming up, which is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is coming up after this run. So thank you so much again. Back over to you.
Thank you. Okay, so let's pray that everything goes fine. Okay, that seems good. And we're good. Okay, so first try for the first shadow boxing. So this is where things are going to differ a bit. So first we have a cat. And we're going to scratch the cat real quick. And basically the cat is telling us that we're kind of ill. And we need to consume some magic items to survive for now. So this is what I just did. And now I can move on. And during the next kind of intermission, you will see a few differences as well. So this time I don't need to do some HP manipulation on Gale, but instead I can cast Magic Missile on these two fellas, and by triggering the cutscene of the first one, it actually cancels the one from the second one, and the one from Raphael is pretty long. This one is actually pretty long, but you cannot skip it. This is the only time where you will see the Guardian Angel. He's telling us a bunch of stuff about the story of the game. But we don't really care for now. And we can move on to the next area. Okay, so here I just need that, and I will swap Magic Missile for Fog. No need to recruit Laser this time. You can just move along. All right. Can I? Okay. I was trying to find the little spot where I don't take damage. And now we're going to talk to Elminster. He's going to tell us more about our character. And also this is going to basically trigger what we need to end the game real quickly. So Bisc, if you can basically explain what is going to happen next.
Yeah, so Gale in the game has an illness that if he doesn't eat magic items, he will explode. And so we're going to send Gale as quickly as possible to the end of the game, to the final boss. And when we get there, we will have him explode, which ends the game. So we're going to do another shadow box once Act 2 starts up. And that one, instead of flinging, we'll fling to the cutscene where you get to see Ketheric and Ketheric, Orin, and Gortash for the first time. And because I don't know, that triggers the game to bring Gale there as well and start the cutscene, which allows him to end the game.
So I'm preparing the second shadow boxing. Hopefully the crate doesn't break. Okay. So now it's just a matter of setting things up. And yeah, good thing I say it because I forgot to turn on turn-based mode. Okay, so now this time is going to work well. Okay, so time is coming up real soon. Just have to select the right option. And time.
GG.
Okay. Well, that was fun. Definitely had to reload a lot more than I expected, but yeah, still had a great time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bisc, for helping me on the commentary. Thanks, RPG Limit Break, for having me during the marathon. And if you want to see more Baldur's Gate 3, you can join us on Discord. The community is fantastic. Lots of helpful people. And they will make a joy of helping you getting into the runs, either all acts, any percent, or maybe some honor mode stuff. They'll just be here to help. So don't hesitate to join us. That's all for me. Thanks to everyone once again, and yeah, enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much indeed, Gyoo, for that amazing run there of Baldur's 3. Thank you very much also, Bisc, for the fantastic commentary there. Hope everybody enjoyed that. We are going to be going away for a quick break, but when we come back, we will be coming up with an interview shortly. And then after that, we have our next run, which is going to be Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Future Redeemed by Aeon Frodo. And it is going to be, thanks to your donations, the normal difficulty now. So thank you so much for that. Looking forward to it. We will be back very shortly. Before that, folks, apologies for that confusion there. We do have an ad to a sponsor, so please stay tuned for that, and we'll be right back. Hello there, folks. Welcome back. You're watching RPG Limit Break 2024. We would like now to send you for a quick message from one of our sponsors. Hello there, folks. Welcome back. You're watching RPG Limit Break 2024, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, raising money for NAMI. And we now have an interview. We have the fantastic Ashen Prime being interviewed by Vanivan and Natara. Please take it away.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. We are here for a wonderful interview. My name is Natara. I'm here joined with my co-interviewer, Vanivan, and we are going to be talking to our dear friend and fellow staff member, the wonderful Ashen Prime.
Thank you.
How you feeling today?
You know, today's been a pretty good day. We had some interesting challenges early on in the week, but at this point, we've ironed pretty much all of them out. And we've been. Yes, good idea.
We're in those end of week just flow. So, of course, we're in an RPG marathon here. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to have to start with that question that we all love. Do you have a favorite Final Fantasy?
Oh, you know, I do, and it might be a controversial one. For me, it's Final Fantasy 15, which is, I don't know why. But
well, you have the floor. You can,
right?
Please
Here we go.
Let's figure it out.
But it was the perfect thing for me. I watched some Let's Player do it online, fell in love with it.
Yep.
Bought the Final Fantasy 15 edition PS4 because I didn't own one before that, just so I could play the game.
That is dedication.
We love it.
And then got interested in, hey, speedruns are a thing that exists. I wonder if anybody does Final Fantasy 15 speedruns. Mm-hmm. And that was the exact path that led to me finding about RPG Limit Break.
Nice.
Okay.
And realizing, oh, this is in Salt Lake, which is not quite my backyard, but close enough that I can drive to the event. And volunteering for the event and coming here. The run that I saw was actually the thing that I found was actually Kios Little Monsters submission for RPG Limit Break. I think 2018.
Amazing.
That's right. The one we did all the cosplay and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
amazing.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Kill.
It was my first, maybe second year of Limit Break, complete unknown, and they let me couch for them for the run, and it was the best. And you know, I've been persistent and here ever since, and now suddenly I'm assistant technical director and logistics manager and systems engineer, and I get to do all sorts of fun things.
Yeah.
And,
it's great.
Yeah, and like just to pull the curtain back just a little, let me tell you who we go to when there's anything technical that breaks. We're just like, Ashen, what do I do? Yeah. So it's you're definitely amazing to have around here and do a lot.
Now, speaking of fun technical stuff, as you just saw with this Baldur's Gate 3 run that we had, we do have some runners that are remote. The majority of the people that run here are on site, but we do have the remote runners. So I wanted to ask you about what is involved with making that happen so that we can have the remote runners be here part of our on-site event.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because you know it is a struggle to do a hybrid event, and there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of the signal paths that get the game from the stage to our compositor. To do those for a remote, well, you got to figure it out. So what we actually have, and honestly, we use the same thing. When we first did a hybrid thing in 2022, it was a bit rough around the edges. But we tried it for 2023. But even then, from 2023 to now, we started doing the side quest content, started doing the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
And so I've been able to use that as an opportunity to even refine our process even more.
Absolutely.
And so it will still sound kind of simple, because all of our remote participants are connected to us at least twice.
Okay.
And if they're the runner, they're connected 3 times. So first off, everybody's in Discord, and that's what they use to chat with each other.
Makes sense.
And then we use a program called vMix, which does this kind of remote thing. Not quite a Zoom room. It's a little bit nicer on our end. We can do more routing with the signals, get the audio to where we want it, and process the way we want it. But then everybody calls in via that, and that's how we get the audio into our soundboard to mix it for the stream.
Important.
So they're talking to each other on Discord, talking to the stream via vMix, which is already fun and complex, and that's also where webcams come in.
Oh, yeah.
And then for runners, we also have them streaming in OBS, because getting game video into vMix, pretty simple. Getting game audio, not so much.
Yes, I could see that.
Why is audio always cursed?
Right?
It's haunted.
Right. and so the correct fix for it was to just have them set up a scene in OBS and stream it as if it was going to Twitch. But instead of a Twitch URL, we have them streaming to our own server that exists somewhere, I think in Texas, that then relays it back to us here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's multiple levels of connection, and then getting into like remote hosts and making sure that they can connect in and see all the dashboards and the stuff and the information that exists on site.
Right.
So they can update even their names and see the rundown and see the donations and the executives. There's so many little fiddly bits. Yeah. And it was very nice to have the side quest content happening. First off, it's been great content in my opinion. I think it's gone very well.
Yeah.
But also to have that opportunity to refine the process and figure out remote in a way that works better than it did when we first started.
Yeah, and it's that in-between content, which is a little lower stakes, but still, like you say, using the equipment and whatnot. Now, we're talking about like our remote runs and everything, but speaking with you behind the scenes with some of this technical stuff, you've mentioned that there's like all these different little software bits we're using to really pull it together.
Yep.
Yeah. So, RPG Limit Break has a wonderful community of people who are on staff, and a lot of them are very software minded. In fact, like the layouts that we have and the fact that we have our lower thirds here, that's all been done by Hoishin, who's done amazing work to program and make them look amazing, and Oro, who actually did the graphics and the design on them, and Hoishin, who put them together. I'm not that. I'm a bit more equipment focused. So you're like, what mixer should you buy? I can say, spend $3,000 on this mixer and we can plug all the things into it and the headsets will work. But when there's all these little bits and pieces and people who are great at programming software but don't necessarily have time, like, well, we have a niche and we need to fill this little niche. So vMix was actually kind of one of those. It's a paid software, but there are a lot of freeware alternatives to a lot of this stuff.
Nice.
And so vMix has a freeware, has a thing that does something similar in freeware. And looking at that and then looking at other stuff, there's just a lot. I'm going to restart this thought a little bit.
Okay.
There's a surprising amount of freeware in the world that can do amazing things. And so I have just a list of awesome stuff.
Which we love.
The vMix tie-in works because that's the freeware version is made by Steve Seguin, who uses a similar thing for what we're using to combine our Twitch and YouTube chats on site.
Oh, yeah.
And so he has Social Ninja. That's just free and available and was very simple to set up. We're streaming on Twitch and YouTube right now. The way we're doing that is a plugin in OBS called Multiple Output that was made by Sora Yuki. That, again, just free and available on the...
And I've seen that person in chat this week, so...
Oh, nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then just a bunch of little things. We're playing music in Fubar 2000. And part of the reason we're doing that is because they have the Now Playing plugin that lets us get the ticker. There's just so many little things like that.
Using software named Fubar sounds like playing with fire.
Maybe just a little bit.
I mean, if it works, it works.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And then probably unsurprising to anybody who's ever done anything like this, not every station, most of the stations have a Stream Deck.
Yeah.
But we're not using Elgato's software on the Stream Decks. We're using BitFocus Companion, which is freeware that anybody can get that lets you create custom buttons that can talk to our soundboard and talk to OBS and talk to this and that and integrate to let us control things a little bit more finely than what is automatically part of Elgato's.
And as someone who's used those Steam Decks at multiple different stations this year, they are a lifesaver. They are such a convenience.
Yeah, there's something about having a tactile button. Like
Absolutely.
So, a lot of the stuff you could have and click on it with the mouse, but having the tactile button is really nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I always love doing these staff interviews or hearing these staff interviews because it kind of gives the folks watching at home, kind of a peek under the hood as far as what goes into making this event and the presentation and whatnot, and what you do here is obviously very integral to what we do. So thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for explaining in depth a lot of those things there. But I do want to take a minute to talk about the prizes that we have available here, and I'm actually going to have you assist me with the first one, mostly because they were contributed by you very generously, and that's this tabletop RPG book set here. In fact, you were telling me that you were actually playing a game from one of these earlier in the puzzle room. So I want you to tell folks about what these books are all about.
Yeah, well, we just saw an amazing run of Baldur's Gate 3, which is based on D&D, like the rule system.
Right.
But it's easy to forget that there are a bunch of other tabletop RPGs that exist in the world.
So many.
And these ones are some of my favorites, which I was somehow got some extras, so I was willing to donate them. These are from Lame Mage Productions, which is one guy. His name is Ben, and I adore his style and the way his games work. And there's 5 books here, which is 4 games. You've got Microscope, which is if you've ever done world building and outlined your world, that's what Microscope is, but in a game format and collaboration.
Okay.
And the Microscope Explorer just is kind of an add-on to that.
Yeah.
Kingdom, which is very roleplay focused, and you create characters around a table. There's no GM here. It's every person has kind of equal stakes in the story. And you create characters. You're going through challenges. There's some rules about how you go through those challenges specifically.
Right.
There's Follow, which is a similar concept, but rather than like a kingdom that you're trying to run, Follow is a group of people trying to solve a quest. So your Fellowship of the Ring or your Ocean's 11 or similar things like that. It's a really fun one. We actually played this earlier this week.
That's what I saw you playing.
Had a group together with that.
It sounded excellent when I was popping in and out while you were playing it.
Yeah.
And then In This World is actually their newest game, and it's just make a list of things that are true about this world. Okay, what if we changed one of them? How does that change the world?
Oh, fascinating.
So it's examining that there. And so, Ben Robbins, just a bunch of really fun games that more improv focused, more role play focused than necessarily your Dungeons and Dragons can be.
So probably less dice rolling.
There are no dice in any of these games.
Well, there you go. No dice rolling.
There you go.
So even less buy-in because you just need the books, it sounds like, and people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you would like an opportunity to get your hands on these books, it's a minimum $30 donation. Cutoff for this is going to be the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So $30 donation to get on that. We do have a few more prizes here in the block. We've got this tier Perler here, the very, very lovely handiwork. This was made by Mizuki Bara. So $5 donation to get in on that. A couple that we don't have pictured here because we don't actually have them. There is a key for East 1 and 2 Chronicles, as well as the Impact of Iwata book. Just like the tier Perler here, $5 minimum donation to get yourself eligible for that. And then, of course, we've got our grand prizes. As you have seen all week long, we have the Buster Sword. Oh, yes. Cumulative $250 donation to get in on this bad boy right here. And then, of course, there is that enormous Whale Lord plush that you have seen pretty much through, I think, every single break between.
If you're lucky.
So
if you're lucky, okay, yeah.
One of the hats I get to wear because I am local is I'm logistics manager, which means a lot of these prizes came to my house. That Whale Lord has been sitting in my house for weeks, and it is so much fun.
Yes.
Just open the door and it's just there staring at you.
You're just like, oh, hello, friends. Yeah.
Great.
I do want to remind you, though, that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 run is the run which is coming up next.
Yeah.
So, and it's a couple hours. So if you want to get your donations in, this is your last chance.
Indeed.
So you definitely don't want to miss out on that.
Yep, very good. Ashton, thank you very much. We really appreciate the time.
Pleasure.
And on behalf of my co-host, Natara here, we're going to toss it right on back to Tim for our next run. So Tim, on over to you.
Thank you very much indeed for that interview, Vanny and Natara. Okay, we are getting set up for our next one, which is going to be Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So bear with us. We will be with you very, very shortly.